Hey, folks, it's me, Sean, coming at you with a solo podcast. This might be kind of a mishmash of real dummies and talking comics, only because I am looking over at a chair and I see neither Jimmy or Ryan, which makes me kind of want to reevaluate my position in life because what's going on, guys? No, I'm kidding. I'm here just to let you guys know that I need. It's been too long, and I need kind of this is like my therapy session. So I just want to talk about stuff that I like, and no, it's not the Punisher because at this point I know a lot of people that I know have not finished it, and for good reason. Not because it's bad. It is awesome. Awesome. The Punisher is like eight kinds of awesome. Well written, well acted, story is spot on, but it is very, very, very depressing. And it's a story that wasn't meant to be binge watched. It's like if you want to wake up and you're like, oh, here, I'm going to have a good day. Oh, yeah? Watch this 13 hours of The Punisher. No, you're not. But I did it because some would say I might be a depressing person. But anyway, moving on. I am talking about the Justice League. This is my Justice League review. And hopefully by this time, this has been enough where people have seen it. But if you haven't, well, guess what? Spoilers. Well, this isn't a spoiler. I mean, anybody that goes on the internet can see, Ryan and I have talked about this before. The whole Zack Snyder into Joss Whedon type things, bringing it in. I've even seen things that say Zack Snyder can ride the bike, but he needs training wheels when it comes to storytelling, which I thought was kind of funny, but unfair. Unfair. Warner Brothers, as usual, the negativity. Had all the right pieces in place, but didn't seem to know what to do with them. Again, that's just internet criticism from people. For me, it's easy. You don't have to raise the bar very high for me. It's like, it's easy to get me in the theater. All it has to be is like, oh my God, it's in color and it's the Super Friends and it's live action. Whereas everybody else around me is like, what's the story? Why do I care about these characters? Why isn't this movie good? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I liked it. I liked it. So this is a solo podcast, so bear with me because I kind of need somebody to bounce stuff off with. I've kind of been it's come to my attention that a guy that I've recently became a fan of, Bill Burr, who does F is for Family, and he's a huge stand-up comedian. He does a solo podcast, like weekly. Okay, I'm no Bill Burr, but I've been putting his slot here for some reason, and so this is the solo podcast after justice has been served. All right, let me kick this off with a few little things that I noticed. Number one, I don't trust any movie trailers anymore. After Rogue One, there was a ton of stuff that was in there, and Jimmy and I have talked about this in the past, that never showed up on the actual film. Same with Thor Ragnarok. This was a hybrid film, which these days it seems to be, co-collaboration on a lot of stuff. I understand that. It's good. I've seen it twice now, Justice League. And it's not like, there were some obvious scenes where me personally, I could tell the difference between a Zack Snyder scene and a Joss Whedon scene. But then again, shows what I know. Because, for instance, for those of you who have seen the movie, The scene with Barry Allen, the Flash, the marker all over the face, and in line in prison. I'm like, oh, that's obviously Joss Whedon. No, that was Zack Snyder. That was it was funny. It was lighthearted. It was good. Where Zack does a lot of awesome visuals, and then leans a little dark, i.e., Batman v Superman. And I know once upon a time the public coming off Batman v Superman were a little bitter. It left a bad taste in their mouth. But at the same time, if you go back to the interview with Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck, Sad Affleck, they were doing that interview and they were talking about how everybody was like kind of crapping on it and everything. They, at the same time, they were in Europe starting to film Justice League. So there was very little course correction and they weren't listening to the feedback. But at the same time, when everybody was like, oh, Ben Affleck's saying this is it for Batman. He's not doing it no more. He's not doing it no more. Nobody remembers that this Justice League movie was supposed to be 2 movies. And I will touch on that as we go along in this recording. Geez, where do I want to start here? Well, you can't. Let's see. How can I do this lightly? You have to bring up when you're talking about DC. Obviously, in the game, Marvel comes into play, and with this movie, like I said, I've been waiting a long time for this. Marvel's already beat him to the punch 4 or 5 times over with Avengers. Again, Joss Whedon. That's why they swooped him over. He knows how to tell a team movie, and the numbers don't lie, folks. Avengers it's like, look at all these characters, look at them, and they're telling you a story, which has led up and sprungboard off all the previous Marvel movies, and then you got this ensemble, and then they did it again with Age of Ultron, which a lot of people kind of pooped on that one too. But it made money, and I liked it. Of course, I liked it. Then they went on to do Guardians of the Galaxy, another team story. And then even, which a lot of people don't realize or stop and be like, oh yeah, you're right. Captain America 3, everyone's like, oh, it's Avengers 3. Excuse me. No, that's a Captain America movie, and they just made it another team movie. Whereas, once upon a time, DC did have the chance to do that with George Miller of Road Warrior fame. Like, I know a lot of you people listening, and a lot of people who are friends of listeners, everybody went nuts for that Mad Max Fury Road, George Miller. I mean, he's the entire franchise is all George Miller. Well, once upon a time, he was slated to do a Justice League movie with oh god, what's his name? The guy, if anybody listening ever saw the Lone Ranger movie where Johnny Depp played Tonto, the guy playing the Lone Ranger was slated to be Batman in the Justice League movie. And they were supposed to start with the Justice League and then branch off into solo films, the exact opposite of what Marvel was doing, which I thought would have been kind of cool. But I don't know. The strike happened, which at the time I was not a part of. I wish I would have. I could have jumped on some bandwagon there. But okay, I'm gonna go through a list here. Like I said, I know you guys can't see at home, but I'm looking over at an empty chair, waiting for feedback, and I get nothing. So I'm just gonna go down a list of stuff that I liked and stuff that I didn't quite like. But let's do the good stuff first. I liked. Let's see. Let's talk about the opening scene where, right off the bat, Batman fights a parademon. Not in a million years. You told little 12-year-old Sean that one day you're gonna go to a theater and see Batman fighting a parademon. I'm like, you're out of your mind. I'm looking at it. The opening scene. Here we go. Um, Steppenwolf, not the strongest of characters. I will give you that. And a lot of people, that seems to be the bullseye of that. He looked a little generic. Kind of like that, Ivan Ooze Apocalypse in Fox's X-Men and the Mountain Troll, Lord of the Rings looking Doomsday and Batman v Superman. But I heard Steppenwolf utter the words in his dialogue, New Gods and Dark Side. Which again tells me it was supposed to be two movies. But the fact that he said New Gods, which referenced Jack Kirby's New Gods in the comics when he first left Marvel, when him and that's a whole other podcast or story, whatever, and started New Gods with DC. Awesome. I mean, you're already looking at Steppenwolf, which is part of it, but I'm not going to go into that story. I had thought maybe for all the people, I'm just going to run this by, for all the people that didn't like Steppenwolf, let me throw out, let's see, an alternate character. How about we should have saw, I don't know. Let's see, the first Justice League, Starro. The starfish from outer space. Let me run that by you. And for those unfamiliar, he's a starfish from outer space who clamps on kind of like a face hugger, but this predates aliens. And he mind manipulates entire species of planets. So, like, let's say you're attacking Starro. He could, whatever race, whatever planet he's on, the mind manipulation, he could just turn that entire race against you, and you're fighting them now. Mothers and daughters and sons and fathers and all that stuff. That would be, number one, I think more visually entertaining than Steppenwolf. For me personally, I know a lot of people didn't notice, but this is a little internet tidbit that I did read before going to see it, the movie. Henry Cavill, spoilers again, Superman is not dead. Shows up and he is rocking a mustache. And people are like, you're listening right now going, what? I saw the movie. There was no mustache. Look closer, folks, because he is in the middle of shooting another Mission Impossible movie for Paramount. I'm giggling right now because this is funny. I think this is behind the scenes type thing. And they're shooting Justice League, but he's contractually obligated not to shave the mustache because his character in the new Mission Impossible movie from Paramount put that in his contract. And I'm kind of thinking it was a little middle finger to Warner Brothers for some odd reason, like petty little, I don't know who's running Paramount these days, but I can see him calling, him or her, whoever it is, calling an emergency board meeting. Everyone's like, oh my God, what's going on? And all he wants to say is like, I stuck it to Warner Brothers. Have fun with the mustache. It could have been like, it could have shaved the mustache. Henry Cavill could have shaved the mustache, and it would cost Paramount like a couple bucks, $8 or $9 to get a fake mustache, or just something, props, the hair and makeup, just put it on there. But no, they went the other way, and what Warner Brothers, in all their, glory does, is they spent the thousands of dollars to digitally remove the mustache. So for every scene, there's a digital layer that they have to take off every frame of every scene. Which I'm sitting there, there's a couple of scenes I'm like, yeah, there's a mustache in there somewhere. I can see it. Oh, that's to me that's just funny. Let's see. All right, getting back on track here. The stuff I liked. Wonder Woman saving the kids in the they were at a courthouse or something like that when some random burglar or bad guy or whatever I wish they would have made it like called him an actual DC villain. You know, he's just a guy doing this. He wants to blow up 4 blocks, and that doesn't work. Wonder Woman, gets rid of the bomb, and then he's like, "Fine, I'm just gonna open fire." Blah blah blah, and then just starts shooting. And then there's like children screaming in horror and terror, and Wonder Woman is doing. It was almost like just a pickup from the Wonder Woman movie, which was awesome. Again, Wonder Woman, highlight of this. Not the only highlight, but definitely, the superstar, the MVP of the show. I wish it would have been, again, I've always gone back to Chris Nolan's last movie in his Dark Knight trilogy. Instead of Bane, I wish it would have been Johnny Depp as the Riddler with explosives and stuff like that. That would have been cool if they'd have just that one scene. But I don't know, you guys. All the Aquaman scenes. That was the other MVP guy. I had very high hopes for him, and they didn't disappoint. Especially that one scene where he's sitting on Wonder Woman's lasso of truth. What did he say? He's like, he just, and that clearly, that had to have been a Josh Whedon scene where he doesn't know and he's sitting on the lasso of truth. He's like, you know what? I'm young. To be honest, I don't want to die. I got shit to do. I want to do things. I want to live, that type of thing. And he's like, oh, wait a minute. I'm supposed to be the hero here. I didn't realize I was sitting on the lasso. Another thing I like, here we go. Ghost Rat from Suck My Deck will definitely jab me for this one. The flashback of the Great War, which looked like they stole the opening scene from Lord of the Rings, where they're all there fighting, and it's like, oh yes, everybody from all around the galaxy came together to stop Steppenwolf and his armies and everything, and there were lanterns. Even aliens from other worlds would unite, and they showed Green Lanterns. And I look at my wife, and I'm whispering over to my wife, and I'm like, oh my god. They showed that scene where it was Steppenwolf that killed that lantern, and they show that dramatic fall of the hand, and the ring shoots off his finger and passes, shoots past Steppenwolf's face, and I rolled a tear. I'm like, oh man. I look at my wife, I'm like, yes, you have no idea what that means. That means, okay, a lantern is killed and the ring has to shoot off and go find somebody else worthy. And I'm pretty sure, that'd be awesome at the end if, the big third act at the end of the movie, like Hal Jordan shows up and he's the new Green Lantern. And none of that really happened. My wife looks at me and goes, I thought the Green Lantern was going to show up. I'm like, well, okay, what would make you think that? She goes, well, you were talking through that whole scene, and you made it sound like, I'm like, the one time you pay attention to me when you're not throwing me into the closet or listening to my bullshitty banter, you actually, you paid attention that time, and I was wrong, all right? Fair enough. A Cyborg. I did enjoy the Cyborg character more than I thought. But watching the movie, there was a time where I thought he was going to be the last Mother Box. He was the character I was least interested in, but I mean, there were little things where Steppenwolf was like, you were born of her. And I think I just wanted to see him rip out of him, but I think he just ripped a leg off or something. But if he was the last Mother Box and they had to take it out of him to stop Steppenwolf and then save him and blah blah blah, that I thought that'd have been really cool. I think my favorite scene had nothing to do with any of the superheroes in question. It was the scene on Themyscira with Hippolyta and the Mother Box, and they were playing Keep Away. It's like, oh, get the Mother Box, and Steppenwolf is getting there, that big fight scene. It was very tense, very action, really fun. I loved it. That was the one that really got a rise out of me. Another one was I thought was really cool, which kind of brought me back to be a little kid again. Was Mira fighting Steppenwolf in Atlantia, Aquaman's wife, and she's like bending water and Connecticus, or however you want to call it. She's just like doing all the cool stuff and everything. I really like that. I dug that a lot. And the way like they made Aquaman like it looked like he was flying underwater as opposed to like, showing him like swim. I thought that was really cool. The Batman save one person speech I thought was really good. And he had a little bit in there with how the fact that I which kind of I thought this movie was going to be more about that the way Batman v Superman ended. I thought it was going to be more the guilt of like we drove Clark Kal-El Superman, whatever you want to call him. He feels responsible for his death, and then when they finally spoilers that when they resurrect him and stuff, and then like he's like all messed up and everything, and like just being a psycho, which I thought would have been really cool. He would have been the villain. Like you're fighting, like he is turned because of us, and we have to like, kind of like how Marvel does it, where there's nothing heroic about cleaning up your own mess. Just ask Tony Stark. I thought they could have went that route, which would have been nice to set up a Suicide Squad 2 movie, considering that's what they kind of hinted at in the first one. It's like, why not bring Henry Cavill on as evil Superman and send in a Suicide Squad to fight them the way they actually said it in dialogue in the Suicide Squad movie. But, who am I? Let's see. I did like the, even though a lot of people said it was kind of cheesy, I loved when Superman joins the final battle. Number one, his colors in his suit were all bright, and the way I remember Superman, bright and hopeful and cheerful, whereas they were all muted and dark in the Man of Steel. Not to mention the fact, I don't know, and many people really or noticed, but the John Williams, Richard Donner, Christopher Reeve Superman music was playing in the back. Which, again, Ghost Rat, feel free. I kind of welled up a little bit. I loved the fact that when they resurrected, they did this whole cheesy like thing where when they first had to like resurrect Superman, um, they did this like thing. It was almost like a video game where you had to like, all right, first of all you got to do this, then you got to do this, then you got to do that, and then all together we do this, and then we go to the boss fight. Which what I mean is, okay, they dug him up, which I'll get to in the stuff that I didn't like, but like Aquaman's pushing him under the water, then they have to hit the mother box just right, and then Flash has to like hit the thing just right to get him. But they showed Ezra Miller doing his run speed thing, and everybody's like frozen, and Flash is doing his, he's got to like run, Barry, run, just to get this thing ignited. One of the best things, aside, I just talked about the lantern ring. Another thing that just got my heart almost jumping out of my chest was when everybody is frozen, when Flash is doing his Speed Force thing, Superman slowly glances over and side eyes him, and then he turns his head, and Barry Allen's going, "What the fuck?" It's like, you're fast, but I can see you, you little runt. More of that. More of that. I like how Steppenwolf's helmet was left behind, which led me to believe that that's going to be the first trophy in the Justice League headquarters, because Justice League does have a trophy room, started by Batman, of course. If you the Batcave with the T-Rex and the giant penny and so on and so forth, you people know. I did like how Batman used the old Wayne Manor as the new Justice League base headquarters. Hopefully one day we'll get a watchtower. That would be awesome. And last thing on my list that I really loved was they did bring back Jesse Eisenberg as a now bald Lex Luthor on a yacht with uh, Deathstroke the Terminator, played by Joe Manganiello, the werewolf from True Blood. So this is probably my wife's favorite movie because between Jason Momoa and him, she got her two favorites. And she was sitting next to me, you know, her fat blubbering husband who's like geeking out and crying like a little girl. But I did like the scene there, the little PS with those two, Luthor and Wilson, going, well, it looks like they've started a league of their own. Maybe we should start one, a league of our own. And I'm like, okay, either they're going to do Injustice League, which is a thing, or they're going to start a women's baseball team with Tom Hanks. No, I'm kidding. It'd have been a lot better if there was more characters on there and they did something like a Legion of Doom. They made a reference of Legion of Doom. That would have been awesome. All right. Let's see the next list again, folks. Bear with. I'm so sorry. I hope you're enjoying this so far. But I'm flying solo here. I need a battery. The stuff I didn't like. I don't want to say hate. Hate's kind of a strong word because it is a movie. I'm just glad it exists. But that being said, the stuff that I didn't like. Here's my didn't like list. Opening scene again. I'm going to start with the opening scene. Batman on the roof. You know, fighting the parademon. The burglar at the beginning, and he's like right in front of him. He's like, Alfred, did you hear that? Like he's using the burglar as bait for the parademon he's going to fight. And he's like, Alfred, did you hear that? It's like, the burglar's right there. It's like, how many Alfreds are in the world? You know, it's like, even if you're as retarded on the internet as I am, maybe 2 days tops. If you're that guy and you want to Google Alfred, and it's like, oh yeah, he's the, let's see, who would have enough money for all this stuff to be Batman? And who knows somebody named, oh my God, Batman's Bruce Wayne. Boom, done. Now this one, my second one, again, involving Batman. You know, I am a Batman fan, trust me, as you all know. But I got a lot of problems with Batman-esque stuff in this movie. And this is nothing more than Warner Brothers and DC trying to sell toys. The Nightcrawler. Let's talk about that for a minute. It's like, okay, Batman's fighting, you know, in the midst of the battle, he's fighting parademons and everything, and he punches one, takes one out, takes this one out. He's like on the ground, and all of a sudden he goes, Alfred, I need the Nightcrawler. It's like, when it finally shows up, it is the slowest thing. Like, AT-ATs from Star Wars are faster than this Nightcrawler. Alfred, I need the Nightcrawler. Okay, it's going to take you about 2.5 hours for it to get there, but bear with me, Master Bruce. I thought it was a little. I mean, it was part of the story, but I had a little bit of a problem with Martha Kent losing her farm at the beginning. Like, I was like, oh my God. It's like they're foreclosing. She just fallen on hard times and everything. It's like, does anybody remember Batman v Superman? Because obviously all you people do, because all you do is bash it. But it's like, why didn't she just give Bruce a call? Remember, you saved my life. I'm the Martha that's alive. Can you cut me a check? He does at the end, but it's like, I always pictured Superman going, oh, thanks a lot, Bat Dick. Wait, she could have used this when I was in the ground. The Superman resurrection, like I mentioned before, the one badass scene, like I said, with Superman kind of shifting his eyes and, getting a beat on the Flash when he was in the Speed Force. But, I mean, overall, that whole scene was just little hokey. Especially when the way they cut the scene, it was supposed to be like a big surprise. Starting at the end of Batman v Superman, where we actually saw the dirt rays and everything, like nobody had any doubts that he was dead or wasn't dead. He was coming back. And then again, the resurrection scene. Flash and Cyborg are digging up a grave, and they're doing it very slowly, and kind of comedic, like they're grave robbing for kicks. You know, it's like number one, this dude can move at beyond the speed of light and sound. The other one can pretty much transform into a giant, like what are those a bulldozer things? You can just scoop it up one scoop. Why is it taking them so long? And why are they like? Seems like they're very lighthearted about it and having fun with it. And they even made a. I thought it was funny too because they even made a pet cemetery joke, which I'm like, okay, okay. Uh, let's see what else. There's two other things I didn't really particularly care for. Um, the Russian family. It's like we spent way too much time, like a good 5-10 minutes on this. It's like, why am I spending money to see this random Russian family, and why am I supposed to care about them? Unless they like pull a Voltron and turn into like KG Beast or something. I don't care about parademons trying to get into this and they're grabbing bug spray and doing. I'm just like, it was just no cut no. And the other in credit scene where Flash was racing Superman, he just looks so awkward. Ezra Miller killed it. He was great as Barry Allen, but as the Flash, it was just weird the way he ran and stuff. And I was more impressed with the Wonder Woman speed scenes than I was with the Flash speed scenes. Like he looked like he was skiing rather than running. He was like, "Come on, Superman, I'll race you." And the last thing, which it didn't occur to me until I saw it the second time, which as much as Jason Momoa killed it as far as I was concerned as Aquaman, that final battle, I would have enjoyed it much more if it was set like on a coast where there was water. Just saying, Warner Brothers. Just saying. Um. So yeah, that being said, that was my quick review, my pros and cons of it. Hopefully you guys have seen it. Throw in a little comment here. I've also saved one more little thing here. There is a website on here. It's called Superhero Talk Site. And I started reading this. It's by a gentleman named Haroon Sharif, who definitely has some opinions. These are it's not about now. I'm going to read these to you, and I've been saving this. I've been sitting on this so I could do this so we can enjoy them together. These are extended, deleted cutscenes that he knows for a fact were the Zack Snyder thing. And I'm just saying, it's like, let's see, he has opinions here too. It says, these scenes were done before the reshoots and were only shown to the Warner Brothers executives, aka idiots who don't appreciate art. Okay, his words, not mine. Okay? I'm just saying. Now, I just want to share these with you, and hopefully, I would love to see, like once upon a time when they did the Christopher Reeve Superman back in '78, there was a Richard Donner cut that they eventually released when it came out on, in my time, VHS. Blu-ray, DVD, stuff like that. So I really don't know this guy. Like I said, I'm just on his site and I've been sitting on this so I can share it with you folks. And I just want to read these with you. So we're going to, my reactions, this could be good. This could be nothing, boring as hell. I don't know. But I'm going to read these to you. And it's, again, Superhero Talk Site, Haroon Sharif. So, good or bad, don't be shitty in the comments, because I want to see this version on DVD and Blu-ray, much like the Richard Donner cut they released of the '78 Superman. And don't forget, Zack Snyder, Josh Whedon, Warner Brothers, DC, You have to remember, in the movie world, it's easier to say no than yes. Because if you say yes to an idea and shit goes wrong, people lose their jobs. Because they have to answer to higher ups, and then the people they answer to have to go to higher ups, and so on and so forth. If you just say no, then it's like, why'd you say no? I just didn't think it wouldn't work, and then cut. That's it. But if you say yes, that's when money starts getting involved, and a lot of it. So, anyway, I digress. Let's go through this list here, folks, because I'm kind of excited here. All right, the first one. Longer extended scene began with Bruce recruiting Aquaman. It was basically the same scene that we saw in the theatrical version this weekend. However, some lines were added by Joss Whedon and some Zack bits were cut. Aquaman was originally more resilient and shut off to Bruce Wayne here. Okay. Deleted scene. Barry Allen saving Iris West by breaking the glass. Okay, so you guys, you remember that little, they did the scene where he's coming through the glass and everything. Apparently there was like a big whole other scene where they just cut Iris West out. Extended scene. History lesson. But just by some bits. What I was most surprised by was that Warner Brothers cut out dialogue by the Green Lantern, Zeus, and even Ares. Oh, Ares from Wonder Woman was there too. Okay. They had a couple of lines each, as did Robin Wright and Hippolyta. Oh, man. You guys remember Robin Wright from the Wonder Woman movie? She was the trainer, the second in command to Hippolyta, Diana's mom, and she got killed when the Germans came up on the beach. And it says here, they just kept the action in and clicked out all the dialogue. Okay. Next one, a deleted scene. After taking the mother box from Themyscira, Steppenwolf actually talks to the box. His mother, Hegra, his mother, Hegra's essence is alive in all the mother boxes, bringing them all together would unleash her powers, finally giving Steppenwolf an edge over his uncle, Darkseid. See, I knew it. There were supposed to be two movies. Number one being Steppenwolf, part two being Darkseid. That is what his plan was originally. I thought for sure they would keep this scene in because they used the dialogue from the scene in the trailers. No protectors here, no lanterns, no Kryptonians. This world will fall. You will be free, mother. That's right. See, again, I don't trust trailers. Like I said at the top of the podcast, there was that scene where Alfred was working on something. I don't know. He looked up. If you remember the trailer, or go back and watch the trailers, it was like, oh, I was hoping you'd, or it's good. I knew you'd show up. I just hope you're not too late. And we're like, oh, who's he talking to? Superman? Is he talking to Green Lantern? Who's he talking to? That scene was not in there. Okay, next one. Deleted scene. Cyborg's previous life. He plays a great football match that his mother, yes, she was cast as well, attends. Afterwards, they drive home. Victor is angry that his dad never made it to the game. While his mother tries to console him, Victor just keeps getting angry and lashing out, losing control of the car, causing a fiery crash. So they did a backstory on Cyborg, which, obviously his mother got killed and that's how he became there. And then the dad is the one who makes him what we see now. Okay. Yeah, that would have been cool. I mean, give me all of it. All right, next one. Extended scene. The Gordon. There's a Gordon scene that had a little setup that I didn't see in theatrical version. Gordon dismisses the junkie and tells him to get a better life. Before another cop comes in with drawings of parademons. His conversation with the League also ran longer. First, he asks Wonder Woman if she's the same woman he keeps seeing reports of in London. Then he asks Cyborg, how do you eat? Do you even need to eat? Okay, yeah, I remember those scenes. Okay. That'd have been kind of cool. I mean, okay, deleted scene here. Next one. After the attack on Atlantis, Aquaman consults with Mera and Vulko. Volko. Oh, shit, that's right. He was cast. Willem Dafoe played Volko. Okay, Aquaman consults with Mera and Volko over what he should do next. Mera wants him to stay as king because she doesn't trust Orm. They name dropped Orm. Volko wants him to do what his heart says. Aquaman confesses that he feels a responsibility to help the people on Earth. Oh man, folks, Orm is a huge, huge character in the Aquaman series. That would have been awesome. Deleted scene. The League visits the Batcave. Alfred has humorous reactions with the League. Bruce Wayne talks about a nightmare he had. He believes that Steppenwolf will try and resurrect the power of Superman, and that they must do it first unless they want to fight an evil Kryptonian. Oh my god, that makes so much sense. See, that's what I was just saying. That would have made so much more sense in the movie. Like, it's a race to get to Superman. Oh. Okay, alternated scene. Change scene. Superman's resurrection was only possible because Cyborg detects foreign genetic material in his DNA, aka the Codex. Jesus, do you remember Man of Steel, folks? First of all, in all three movies, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and now this one, the Kryptonian ship has factored in to all three. And then the Codex was the one that General Zod came to Earth and wanted to terraform, and he had the Codex and he wanted to just turn it into a new Krypton. So it seems like they just cut out all the stuff that would tie all of this movie. So it's like it was a vision, which would have made a lot more sense. So Cyborg detects foreign genetic material in the DNA, also known as the Codex. This is the final confirmation needed that Superman can be brought back to life after all. Then the revival happens pretty much the same. So, like I talked about, where they're doing the thing and Flash has to run around in the mother box in the water. Okay. The next one. Oh. This is smack dab in the middle of the movie. Deathstroke, the Terminator, breaks Lex Luthor out of prison. They part ways because the cops are hot on their trail, deciding to meet up later at, quote-unquote, the location they discussed. Why the fuck would you cut that scene out? No, because that just leads up to that little PS at the end of the movie that I talked about earlier. Oh, jeez. Man. Deleted scene. Kent Farm. Superman brings Lois here. However, he is still very confused and not knowing what's happening. Bystanders are looking at him and clicking his photos. This confuses Superman further, and he actually tries to attack the civilians with his laser eyes before Lois manages to calm him down. Superman tells her that the voices won't shut up. Later, Martha shows up here, and Clark and Lois are already inside the house. Clark is calmer now, but still very confused and irritated. His powers are going haywire, and his senses are heightened. Martha gives the, oh shit. Remember, okay, when he was a little kid, and he had that freak out thing in Man of Steel. And she came in and calmed him down. Remember, what was it? Picture the world as an island. Follow my voice and come back to me. Oh, man. See, they just cut everything out that would tie everything in. It seems to calm him down later. Clark is wearing his shirt when he sees Pa Kent. So Kevin Costner was here too. He was cast in. Out in the fields. He goes out to see him. Jonathan Kent talks about embracing who you really are and tells Clark that, yes, when you first came here and you watched Titanic, there was enough room on the door for Jack, and you could have saved me when that tornado... No, I'm just kidding. He tells Clark that you have to make peace with who you are. You have the power to change the world, and you can do that as anyone, good character or bad. Clark finally embraces Superman as part of him when Lois walks out. Clark confirms their engagement. Lois breaks down because she wasn't strong enough. Then Martha comes out too as Clark decides to help the League and flies off. That's how it happened in this version. I may have paraphrased some dialogue, but that was basically it. All right, yeah. So we get that. Deleted scene. Clark heads up to meet Alfred to get his suit. So that's what I was saying. So it was Clark. You know, the thing I was talking about earlier in the trailer that never made it to on screen in theatrical version. You know, where he's like, "Oh, I knew you would come. Let's hope you're not too late." And emphasis on hope. Deleted scene. Steppenwolf's second conversation with Hegra. Now that he has all three mother boxes, her return to this world can begin. Next one is a alternate scene. Bruce's conversation with Diana after Superman returns. Wonder Woman comes in to pop Bruce's shoulder and tend to his injuries. Bruce reveals that he is willing to die to save the world. In fact, he says he deserves to die because of what he's done. He's killed people, and nothing, not even his hate for Superman, can justify killing like that. Oh my God. Diana tells him that he's changed now, but Bruce remains adamant that he can only atone himself by sacrificing his life. Bruce's change scene, alternate scene. Bruce's Batmobile is headed to certain death during the finale when Wonder Woman and Aquaman interfere and save his life. They tell him that dying in battle won't do anything and he must live to keep the fight going. So, oh my God, that would be awesome. That's a Batman fan's dream right there. After Batman v Superman, where he's out there branding people and killing everybody and you know, sending them to death. It's like, that's the thing. It was a vision. And it's just, again, they've cut stuff that ties all three movies in together. So we've got a suicidal, just crazy Batman that apparently Gal Gadot and Momoa need to talk off the ledge. I wonder if they were off screen going, you know, Affleck, you don't really need to leave. These movies aren't that bad. Oh, that's awesome, man. Let's see, what else we got here? Superman joins the fight and teams up with the League to defeat Steppenwolf. However, at one point, Steppenwolf tries to tempt Superman into joining his army, and we see Darkseid for the first time. In Superman's vision, we see flashes of the nightmare from Batman v Superman when Bruce Wayne had that, and we saw the Omega symbol and the parademons for the first time. However, Superman snaps back from it and delivers the final blow to Steppenwolf, defeating him. Oh, shit. Check out this next deleted scene. Steppenwolf is killed by Darkseid on Apokolips. Darkseid intends to come to Earth to meet this Kryptonian. See, I knew it! Damn it! That is... Oh, man... It was supposed to be two movies. Shit, they cut out all the good stuff. They better... I want this version released. Oh. What's the next one here? Deleted scene. Darkseid, folks. Darkseid. Now, again, what is Warner Brothers thinking? Because I don't know if you've been keeping up on current events, but Infinity Wars trailer just dropped, and so we're gonna get Thanos. We could have got Darkseid. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm can't wait for Thanos, the Mad Titan, but we could have got Darkseid too. All right. Anyway, back to the list. Deleted scene. Aquaman meets Mera off the village coast and agrees to come back. Barry steps into the library. Iris smiles at him cutely. Okay, so these are just little PS things towards the end here. Let's see, another deleted scene. Lois introduces Perry White to Clark Kent, also known as Superman. Shot of Lois and Clark. Lawrence Fishburne as Perry White wasn't shown as he was not available for... Okay, that makes sense. A day's work. Oh. Jesus. All right, folks, here we go. Last one. The original after credits scene that was shot in principal photography was Bruce Wayne being woken up in the middle of the night in his lake house by a green light and being visited by Tomar-Re and Kilowog. Ugh. It was cut fairly early on during post. So there were going to be Green Lanterns at the end. I got to show my wife this. Because, like I said, one of the few times she actually does pay attention to my nerdy ramblings. It wasn't Hal Jordan, and it wasn't... it was Tomar-Re and Kilowog. Oh. All right, folks. This is awesome. Well, let me know what you think, and let me know if you even miss us. I just nerdgasmed here, so I'm all done with this. So thanks for enjoying my ramblings. Hope you loved it. Like, comment, subscribe. Definitely let everyone know how much you miss Jimmy and Ryan because of the ramblings of an old man who's geeking out here. And as always, have a day.